get into it. I'm waking up early in the morning, get my hustle on. If you go to war with me, I hope your money long. Told them I ain't here for the games or you sing along. If there's money out here and I can't eat, then we can't get along. Let's get into it. Get along. Yeah, I'm hot, boy.
Yeah, all right. We got it right this time, man.
Got it right.
Good morning. I'm your boy DJ Duya. What's going on, Biz?
I'm Biz, man. I'm doing good, family. Just chilling out. You know, trying to take it easy today.
Yep.
We got some guys coming on today, but we was talking behind the scenes, watching some videos and talking before the pre-show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give give some respect to Lil Sanders, man. I still feel like, you know, we're gonna get into it though.
All right. So yeah, let's start it off with the NFL, man.
Well, let's. You want to? I had two guests I wanted us to bring on, man. I want them to hop on eventually. We're gonna definitely start with the NFL. Let's start with the NFL with the. You want to start with the injuries over at the top?
Yeah. So we can start. I was waiting for them for the prime effect.
Okay.
With that,
we'll wait for them to get for the prime effect.
And the NFL, this is what happens in the league, man. We got a lot of injuries, and it's to some real key contributors to their organizations and all that, right?
Yes.
So the first injury I want to talk about is Von Miller or the Bills.
Yeah. I was watching this podcast the other day too, and he sold them some false hope, saying that it's nothing serious, don't need no surgery. Don't need none of this. We're just going to hold off to the end of the season so they can use me for the playoffs. There was a lot of stuff going on yesterday, man.
Yeah, so all right, let's bring in Mos. He's in the building.
Mos.
That's what's going on.
My God.
Good. Oh, man, he got the jersey on. He's
ready.
Come on,
man. I got to represent my team. We made it into
voice, man. Yeah, that's his voice.
We made it into the top 4. We here, man.
Well, right now, bro, we was just getting and we got Easter in the building. Let's bring Easter on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is my boy Chris Easter, Kingdom Way Training. That's my boy Mos Dre. If y'all ain't meet Mos yesterday, but we back. Yo, we were just talking about the injuries in the NFLs right now. We started off with the Von Miller and how, before we get back into our Coach Prime effect, let's get these NFL injuries and stuff out the way. Tough. So the Von Miller injuries, man, what do y'all think of? How valuable is that to the Bills, you think, going forward?
I think that's tough. They paid that man a lot of money to get to that quarterback. So,
right.
I mean, granted, their offense is going to be great, but, Von Miller did something a little different with that defense. If you really look at Buffalo defense, Von Miller was really getting after the quarterback first half of the season. So, I think that's going to be a big loss.
Yeah, well, another thing is, too, I think, he was helping that Milano out. Him being at that outside pass rusher, Milano didn't have to do too much. You know what I mean? He could just be him.
That's exactly why they paid that man all that money. They went to go get that man for a reason. And you know what? Injuries is a part of the game. We understand that, but that's a big loss, man. Von Miller is not no just regular player, man. Like, that man's been one of the most consistent pass rushers in NFL history, you know what I mean? So
why do you think that they tried to downplay it in the beginning? And it's usually players they tell you right away, like, these are the best doctors in the world. They know this stuff right away. Why do you think they said, he'll be back 1 to 2, 3 weeks, and now they telling us that he had surgery?
I think that's just the NFL being the NFL, honestly. I mean, they always going to downplay something, especially since other coaches is watching and, game planning and to throw a couple other teams off their game that, because if you game planning for Von Miller, that's a different type of game you playing, so
yeah.
Some of these tackles they're going to be very happy men for these next few weeks.
Yes, they are. They're going to be extremely happy.
Yep. What's going on, Chris?
East, what you think about the Von Miller injury, brother? What do you think about Devon Miller?
Like it happens. That comes with football. I mean, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, like you really can't control any of the injuries that come. Like I've been seeing a bunch of players go back and forth about going natural grass and taking out turf.
Yep.
I'm in between both because I like turf and I like grass, but at the same time, the NFL has the money to maintain the grass that all these players want. It shouldn't be a big issue of, oh, we need to take out this. No, it's $1 trillion business. Everybody can maintain what these players want. Like look at the Arizona Cardinal stadium. They take the grass out the stadium, they roll it out, they put it in the sun, they maintain it, then they roll it back in.
The Raiders they do that too. Yep.
Yeah, the Raiders got the same thing. So it's all about.
I mean, as a player who played in college on grass, I will say grass is a lot more, better on the body. But I'll tell you, if they do all grass, it's gonna be a lot slower game. It ain't gonna be no Tyreek Hill 2 fingers up. Like, I mean, that man gonna be fast regardless. But
I don't know, man. Listen. I mean, like I said, I ain't played in college. I ain't did that. But I felt like me being on the field watching y'all, like dudes that I know that if they really didn't, have to deal with daddy stuff and we wasn't living the lives we were living earlier, y'all could have been, somewhere I see it, you know what I mean? So me seeing y'all on the field, watching y'all on the field, I'd be like, man, it depends on the player. Because I watch both. I feel like I watch Chris run faster. This game I seen Chris, I'm like, Chris, he put way faster on grass.
I think me and Chris as receivers, we understand like grass is more crisp. Like your routes because you get it more grounded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On turf, it's like you're gliding. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by like it's faster because like you're not planting as hard. Like in grass, you have to be mindful of what your routes is. You got to break down a little more extra. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your body squared. And turf, you could get away with a lot of fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's why Chris training these kids on grass helps their fundamentals. So when they do hit the turf, they not conscious of what their body is already normally doing,
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by it's faster because it's like when you on turf, your body is just reacting and you're not really worried about planting more than being fast. You know what I'm saying? That's why they do a lot of speed cuts now. And because on grass, you got to focus on your body being what it is. Because you know what? That grass is not friendly to you sometimes. It's slick right from under.
I wanted before we get back into the topics, I just wanted to ask Chris real quick, just run down the training because we was talking about scholastics yesterday and what we want to do with the kids and all this good stuff. So just run down what you do and all that.
So I'm gonna back up before I even how I merged into training. I want to say I was in college and I would come home every off season, stuff like that. Regular football stuff. And I would train like this kid. He was like my little brother. He wanted to go to school, play football, so I kept training him since I was 19. He ended up going to school. He went to Brockport and played receiver out there. And I want to say around 2019, 2020 is which my draft class came. Things prevailed me from getting drafted or whatever, but my boy was just like, yo, you got the talent. You might as well start teaching kids. And I thought about it. I'm like, I've been doing it. Then I sat down, feel me? I started going through names for the business, and I'm like, we call Poughkeepsie Power Kingdom. I took the power out. I'm like, Kingdom? All right, this is your home. Wait. I'm gonna show you what you can do to get to where you got to.
Absolutely.
Training. How much time you want to put in? How long we gonna do this? I'm like, because I tell these kids all the time, training is a process. Football is just a process in your life. It's just a big process to where you want to get to. So the training aspect came naturally for me. I always wanted to teach the next generation. Like I even watched Most when I was in JUCO and he was playing with my brother. I was always like, yo, who won? He fast. Like, who's that? My man telling me, my brother telling me. So even looking up to him when I was younger, coming up from college and stuff.
I'll tell you, I didn't see that kid in high school, man. I didn't watch him in high school. That kid was special, man. Special.
Listen. My first memory of Chris. Yo, we was in practice. We was in Poughkeepsie practice. It's like our first time we was on offense versus defense. and the man ran a screenplay, some quick screen stuff. Man, the way I seen he was moving out there, I say, yo, listen, well, there goes my receiver spot.
Feet game is crazy.
Yo, foot game is crazy. Yo, Mose, I said, well,
game
I'm
is
about
crazy. His feet game is crazy.
Never mind.
And you know me as a receiver, for me to say that, like he's impressed me for years. I've known Chris for a long time, so he know how I feel about him, his game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I've always praised his footwork.
So Chris, go ahead. Back to the story, bro. Back about the trade.
Like these two, motion bids seen me for a few years, so they already know what I'm coming with. I just teach these kids releases, the route running, the route tree, how to read a defense. Even I coach running backs, DBs, and receivers, the positions I played, so I already know what to bring to the table. Like even working in the high schools and stuff like that, these kids will come up to me like, "Yo, coach, da da da." So I asked one of these kids one day. I said, "Do you understand how to identify a cover two?" And he said, "No, my coaches don't tell me that." I said, "That's where you're wrong." And so I asked him just to see what he would get to me. He said, "You identify it as the corners." I said, "No, you identify cover two by the safety." I said, the safety is going to be 2 yards outside that hash, or 2 to 3 yards outside the hash. And he's like, He said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because they got to cover the ground the corner's not backing up to." I said, "Cover four is always quarters." I'm like, "How many quarters does it take to make $1? 4. Everybody has a quarter of the field." And he's like, "Coaches don't break it down like that." So it's more than just. It's more.
Some of these coaches don't even know that.
And putting in drills. And I live by the slogan drills that translate.
High school coaches don't be doing that. But.
So, even putting them in drills that translate is my saying to them. Every drill you're gonna do, you're gonna use in a game some way, somehow.
Absolutely.
When it comes to grass, when it comes to grass, we work on a lot of dropping our hips and planting in the routes and like dropping and running correct things that's gonna be used on grass. Like when we go to turf, it's more, all right, just plant your foot and go, because I don't want you to slip or hurt your knees or whatever. So it depends on what type of surface I'm on. It depends on what type of training they're gonna get that day. So it all depends on what I'm doing for receivers, running backs. I'm usually doing cutback drills, seeing your lanes where it's going to open up. Be patient. I always tell them about Le'Veon Bell. I'm like, Le'Veon Bell wasn't the fastest running back. The reason he was the best at that point in time is because he was so patient. He would let the play develop. He would let the hole develop. And I don't care about you running the 4.3. I'm like, you can run a 4.3 and can't control your speed, then you really no use to. I said he ran a 4.6 and he was doing what he had to do in the NFL, the National Football League, at the top level. Yeah, he ran a 4.6. Le'Veon Bell ain't fast.
I saw that on the Jets. But
don't make me bring out my Le'Veon Bell jersey. Let me keep that.
But no, his running style was so ill to me, man.
It's all about patience. A lot of people
when he was in his prime.
A lot of people always used to say how he would, how he's so fast. I look at it like, yo, you see what he's doing with his line. Like if somebody pulls, Le'Veon's not running in front of him. He'll slow down and let that guard pull in front of him, get to where he need to be. Then he goes to the line. I'm like, patience is gonna get you yards that you want. I don't care. I'll take a +2 than a bad 1.
Yeah, Le'Veon is a different kind of guy. Because if you look at Shady McCoy. He's patient, but that boy, his agility and his speed is a little different. Yeah,
his agility got him
a little different.
So that's what we trying to do is we wanted to bring you on, especially because of how you work with the kids in all the communities, and you don't shy away from just the kingdom. You dig what I'm saying? You accept all kids from anywhere that want to get the knowledge and all that. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to bring you on. And I don't even know what field Von Miller got injured on. That's what's crazy. I don't know if it was grass or turf. Most likely it was fucking turf, probably.
I think the injury that he got is kind of like, it's like, it's not like an Odell situation where he tore his knee in the middle of a wrinkled turf. I think his was just through play, you know what I'm saying? Like versus like the field actually causing the injury, you know what I mean? So that's what, as a person, I've torn my knee, you know what I'm saying? I've done all that. on grass and on turf. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not even a field. Sometimes your body doesn't catch up to the parts that's supposed to. Sometimes in your leverage and your balance. That's why, you know, when Chris train these kids, like for me, like I'm more of a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like the training aspects, I don't know the drills, but if you watch how I play, you know I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But the thing with Chris is it's the knowledge of one, training their body to do what it's supposed to, but also training their mind to understand why they are doing what they're doing. Yeah. Because some of these kids do all these drills and still don't know a cover 2, cover 4, because they're not attacking it in terms of what the coverage is. They're attacking it based off of their training and certain cuts, you running right into the defense. You know what I'm saying? So you could train as much as you want, but if you don't have the fundamentals of what your mind and your body, it's not going to be what you. That's why it's so successful with some of these kids that he's getting recruited. He's getting signed to D1 programs because it's a different kind of training. It's not just here's the cones, run, cut, do this. It's let me train your mind to understand why your feet are doing what it's doing. You know what I mean?
Well, I really wanted to stress that, to get that out there. You know what I'm saying? What you're being on, Chris.
Absolutely.
To get that out to let you know, let the community know what you do, because this is streaming on YouTube also. So we streaming YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
7-on-7 coming soon.
Facts. I do got an announcement. I am starting a 7-on-7 team, so. You know,
and you know who's a part of it.
You know, big tips for y'all. I can't. We're gonna definitely get some footage of that. We want to get some footage of all that stuff too, man, because we want to start doing a highlight, little reel, and all at the end of the week and stuff, and put our own stuff with our own, our own, all that athletes around the league around here and all that. But you think that's gonna affect the Bills in the long run, that injury? Or do you?
I mean,
do you see them going to an AFC Championship?
Oh yeah, I see it.
I look at it as look what they did last year when they was playing the Chiefs without him.
Yeah.
So it really don't. He adds more dynamic to that defense. Don't get me wrong, they were good without him, but with him it was like, all right, they got Vaughn. How you supposed to stop somebody coming from the edge? You got these DBs, these LBs doing what they do, but at the same time, I don't put nothing past that Bills defense.
Yeah, I just think the thing that's going to hurt the Bills most is their DBs being injured versus Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? Like they've had trouble in the secondary this whole season. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen could do what he want, put up points. Stephon Diggs could do what he want, put up points. But some of their DBs that are some of the top in the league are hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that injury bug always kind of hinders teams.
But so we're gonna go with the fact that it doesn't affect them because it was something that he added to them. It's more the DBs we're concerned about there.
I love the Jets. We're in their division, but let's be real. I don't even believe in Miami. I mean, I'm one of the only ones you could quote me. I don't believe in Miami. I feel like they good at home because it's warm. But come to New York in the cold and let's see Tyreek Hill run like that.
Why you think Tyreek didn't
Let's see Tyreek Hill run like that in the cold, baby. It's getting cold in New York.
Tyreek Hill doing exactly what he was doing.
You know, that's a smart move. And no taxes.
We're going to go with one more injury, then we're going to get into our NCAA football conversation, the prime effect top 4. Last injury, do you think Lamar Jackson, because he's week to week now, they're already struggling. How important is this?
Very big. Very big. Very big. That's their leader. That's their guy. I mean, you know, there's nobody who could really compare or replace that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody. You know what I'm saying? Unless they trade him for Justin Fields, there's nothing really they can replace with that man. You know what I'm saying?
Because honestly, when he went into the season and he wanted to basically, it was like a gamble this year for that contract year.
Yeah.
I was listening to Ed Reed. He was talking. He was basically saying the reason they didn't want to give him that money is because look at the type of market they're in.
Okay.
Baltimore's not a big city. Like it's not New York, it's not LA, it's not Miami, it's not Chicago. You feel me? So those big
market,
and they're not known for paying their players.
Which is kind of weird because like they're so close to the DMV, but then again, like they're really not far from New York or you know what I'm saying? Like
so I think him going on this gamble, it's worked out for him so far, but at the same time, we do play football. We know what type of injuries.
He's in a contract year.
So he's in that last year.
But here's a question over top of his injury question, because we already said it's going to affect him. Do you think that what he's done so far, would that help his cause to betting on?
They better pay him because he's hurt. I hope they lose every game to realize that is the man you need to pay, or you're gonna watch his ass walk away. You know what I'm saying? And
like look at what Dallas did with Dak. Like when he supposed to get that bread, they paid him what he made almost $50-60 million in last year's money.
And look at the season he's having, man. Look at the season he's having.
They're going crazy right now. They 9-3 or something like that.
They hitting their stride, man.
He's doing what he's doing, and I want to get to that part. Is when we were talking about training, let's revert back to that Green Bay Packers game when he threw those 2 interceptions across the middle.
Yeah,
it wasn't on him. I always tell people this. I was like, those interceptions wasn't on Dak. His receivers didn't cut across the face of the safety. So they went behind the safety instead of front. If they would have went in the front, it would have been a completed pass. But I'm like, those little things right there, it just puts you into a different perspective of like how I watch the game.
I just wanted to say
what you got to do.
I just wanted to say this real quick. I know we on a different topic, but I like to throw stuff in there that's like hot off the presses, so to speak. So they just said Brittany Griner was released on a prisoner swap. Yeah,
I
mean, it sucks that it took this long.
What prisoner did we swap her with? Because we got to do some research on that person.
We will. We'll talk about it tomorrow probably.
I'm just saying, it took this long for what? We probably could have already did this trade. The WNBA would have did this trade a long time ago. The NBA would have did this trade a long time ago. When it comes to the government, they need a little extra.
What they want to do, bro.
Because ain't no first rounders in this trade. It's straight. But congratulations, that's awesome. That's amazing.
So we pretty much agreed that Lamar, if they lose out, they got to pay the man. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like personally,
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Tyler Huntley is not bad, man.
He's not, but he's not Lamar. Like if you want to take the chance to develop a guy, then let's agree that Baltimore will be ass for the next few years, okay? Like let's be honest with ourselves to understand. Before Huntley, they had McSorley. You know what I'm saying? From let's be honest. Like
him saying that, I almost exit out this chat because he's crazy.
No, listen.
He's not that bad. Yeah,
no, he's not that.
He's
bad.
not great, but he's still green. He's still green.
Let me get this out.
Good.
Can you tell me right now, Tyler? You would look at Tyler Huntley and at the end right now. That's our best quarterback right now. You telling me right now?
No, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's
favorite player in the league, man.
I get Lamar's hurt. So you telling me right now that's your best option to go with?
I mean, unless they gonna call the Jets and trade for Flacco.
I think he's decent, man. He had a game-winning drive last week. I mean, they were struggling the whole game.
Nah.
He was able to help them pull it out.
But listen,
he did do good last year. I give him that. He did do good last year.
The only way Huntley would be able to do anything like that is if Baltimore had a bunch of star receivers. Because that's the only way
which they don't. Manager. They hurt in running backs, wide receivers, and now quarterback.
Yeah, he's a game manager with I can see him being a game manager with star receivers. Two big name receivers running back.
What is the definition of that, though?
What, game manager?
What is the definition of that? Because if you really want to be, it's a lot of niggas that start that are really game managers.
Game manager. I mean, getting you
Matt Ryan,
getting you first
game
down
manager.
Nah, he's a game
manager.
fuck up.
Listen, that's but with game management comes fuck ups. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Let's be real, is not the Aaron Rodgers we used to know. You know
at
what
all.
I mean?
No, he's not.
He's at this point.
Somebody
said something so great on SportsCenter. They said, Aaron Rodgers is exactly what he didn't want to be, and that's Brett Favre. Like he is the definition of who he didn't idolize. He doesn't want to help his backups. He doesn't want to go from Green Bay, and he wants to continue to fuck up until they literally fire that man.
Yeah.
You think what I'm saying? I get it.
But hold on.
The Jets better not sign this
motherfucker. Brett Favre had better receivers than what Aaron Rodgers got going on right now. Because you got to think about it. He had Donald Driver. He had Jordy Nelson.
So did Aaron.
He had homeboy that started
Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings. Like Jennings was nice too.
He was nice.
Like, I mean, listen, Christian Watson is pretty good, man.
He's nice.
He's pretty good.
I said this in the beginning of the season. Christian Watson is going to be something good. He's
pretty good.
And he's
shout out my man Garrett Wilson though too. You know what I'm saying? OH. Yeah. Garrett Wilson.
Y'all got lucky.
Ain't no luck. Garrett
right now.
And Garrett.
Matter of fact, let's talk. Busy. Let's get busy.
Top four right now: Georgia, Michigan, TCU. Right?
Okay.
Now, TCU, Michigan,
Georgia, and Michigan in the
dog hell out of TCU. And you think I don't know about this Georgia Ohio game. I don't know if Georgia Ohio got enough for Georgia.
That's probably the best game. Like Michigan is really like I feel like if they keep it close, TCU could squeak out a win because they have that grit at the end of the game.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The world want to see a rematch, man.
Amen. And I need my lick back. I need my lick back. It would feel even better to win the Natty against them and let them have that little Big Ten trophy that we won 9 years in a row. Keep that.
I feel like this is going to be like how last year, not saying that the coach is losing and leaving or nothing, but it's going to be like.
All right, look. I'm going to tell most.
Jim Harbaugh need to get fired after we whoop his ass.
This is the type of crazy connection I got with UGA, right? So coming out senior year in college, my boy that I played DB with in an All-Star game, his little brother is a starting running back at UGA right now, right?
Got like 6 of them niggas.
I'm telling you right now. Georgia's going to the Natty, right?
Okay.
I got them battling OU, but until that second half comes, UGA about to take this shit over.
I mean,
TCU
I'm
and Michigan is going to be a shootout. They're gonna that TCU Michigan game is going to be a shootout. Why? Because their starting running back is out.
No, it's not going to be a shootout because Michigan is a game manager. If you other than the Ohio State game, I've watched Michigan. This is the 1 year that I actually watched them. They are game managers. Their quarterback, J. McCarthy, he's only had a game where he had 3 touchdowns. One time this season, and that is versus Ohio State. He didn't even throw 3 touchdowns versus Hawaii, who literally only won 2 games this whole season. So let's be honest, they are game managers.
He got the look on his face because he feel like I'm about to say something.
They are game managers. If Blake Corum play, they're gonna run the ball. They're boring as fuck. But when they play us, they start doing random shit and start making y'all believers. Did y'all see what happened to them last year in the playoffs? Did y'all see what Georgia's not going to do that to us. They're not going to do that to us. And Stetson Bennett, he's not calling nobody. His phone is dead when he plays us. All right? Ohio, let's talk about the first half of the Ohio State-Michigan game. We held them to 5 rushing yards. 5. Second half, 200 or something. I can't argue about that. That's because McCarthy started throwing the ball and we focused on that. We hold Georgia to 5 yards in the first half.
I'm gonna tell you why y'all lost. One, y'all was playing man when y'all should have been playing zone.
No, we were emotionally attached.
Your DBs was getting killed. Just admit it. It's okay.
It was our backup. It was our backup DBs. Cameron Martinez, who got burnt for that touchdown, is not a starter. So it's a backup, he's not a starter. He's not a starter.
Hold on. Go ahead, Chris.
What did Santana Moore say? Big time players show big time games, make big time plays.
Did you see Marvin Harrison Jr.? He made big time plays.
Did they win though? No.
Don't get
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I fuck with Marvin Harrison Jr. That's one of my favorite receivers in college football today. He's nice. He's a dog. A dog. But I'm just saying, UGA and y'all playing in.
Yeah, but that's him. Bennett also with McCarthy literally have 16 passing touchdowns amongst each other. One has 16, one has 14. That's on an entire 13-game season. You have thrown 14 and 16 touchdowns. Our Heisman has thrown 35 touchdowns. Do you believe that every team is going to stop our offense? Like, let's not do the Michigan.
Hold on. We're jumping. Everybody wanted to see that rematch, but we didn't get it. I'm upset because I feel like Ohio State should have been number 3 for the simple fact Ohio State lost to a number 2 team, bro. They lost to a second-ranked team.
I think they gave him credit because TCU was in the Big 12 championship.
No,
I understand it was at home.
It's about money. It's about money. It's about business.
We ain't got more money than TCU?
No, I'm saying no. The committee made
it.
You gotta realize.
No, I feel
everybody wants to see that matchup, right? Everybody wants to see that rematch.
I feel like that.
All right, cool. We set it up like this.
I feel like that matchup should have been
win. Yep, I get it, Chris.
Because Georgia's going to
money, bro.
You're putting Ohio State. I would have rather seen Ohio State versus Michigan.
Right.
That first game.
Me too.
I think
TCU should have been, man.
Bro.
I think they're trying to set it up kind of how they did Alabama and Georgia, how they had an SEC championship a few years in a row. You know what I'm saying? I think they're trying to see if the Big Ten could really do it. If the Big Ten could win out, y'all gonna have a Big Ten championship.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like they kind of screwed them because TCU lost. You was number 3 at the time. And you lose to a number 9 or a 10th ranked team. Ohio State lost at home. I get it. But you lost to the number 3 ranked team, I think, the number 2 ranked team at the time. Bruh, you lost to a top 4 ranked team. So I don't feel like you should be punished like that. I don't even feel like USC and TCU should have been there, but because they was the last undefeated, it's like, well, we got to put them there because they got 0 losses. Me and Duya called it. The same week we said, both them boys is losing.
USC would have shit the bed regardless.
USC cannot tackle.
I feel like USC is a year early though. Anyway.
Yeah, very true.
There's no way.
All right,
so hold on. This is what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna get on to the prime effect. Chris, your top 4. We just gonna go. Just give me your top 4. If they didn't have to be the top 4 they got, give me the top 4 you would have liked to see.
UGA.
Okay.
It matter about record?
No, it don't matter about record. We don't.
The best team you think, the team you think was the best, man, regardless of what they said.
UGA 1.
Do you? What are they? Okay.
UGA 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3. And I would have to simply say I would have put Bama in there.
Oh man, that's my same 4. That's my same 4. That's my same 4. Same 4. Exactly how you put it.
What is your
I'm gonna go and be honest with the records and all that. And we lost, so I'm gonna give number 1 to Georgia. I'm gonna give number 2 to Michigan. Well, you know what I'm saying? That team up north. Number 3, of course, Ohio State. Ohio State. And number 4, I'm gonna give it to Bama. Like I say, it's between the Big 10 and SEC. Like I wouldn't give the Big 12 even that much credit because Texas was awful this year. Kansas State were good, but they weren't like awful. They literally won their championship with a backup quarterback. Like
Texas is awful. Texas is like the biggest budget in the world.
Texas is literally this. Texas, as you look at them, you'll go, that team is good. For some way, somehow, they're gonna mess up.
Yep.
It just always goes like that. No matter what, Texas is Texas football. I get that, but you're not doing nothing in your league. You're not doing nothing. And Texas is straight. That Big 12. If you
look at
their
recruits, man. If you look at, I mean, they took a guy from my school, like Quentin Ewers, literally left Ohio State to go be that guy, and let Hudson Carr, who is now in the transfer portal, come and compete for the job. You are the number one quarterback in your class. How? It's these recruiters know how to talk shit.
I mean, it's the same, man. Honestly, it is.
Got to.
I mean, I'm all good with TCU and all that. It's pride and it's like when Wichita State or one of those teams gets in there, and you're happy for them, but
they was nice though. You can't do that.
When Wichita State was like that
during the basketball year.
Wait, doesn't TCU have like their coach is like a newcomer? Like this is his first year at TCU.
Yeah. He was.
It's also like the USC thing. It's like they are a year early than what they're supposed to be because nobody was expecting this. But then again, what did we really expect from the whole Big 12? You know what I'm saying? Like, did we really expect too much from them? I don't think anybody thought anybody outside of Texas was actually going to be able to compete in or even make that top four. Because, I mean, when's the last time the Big 12 been represented in the playoffs? It's been a while.
Yo, I gotta dip out. You guys could. I gotta dip out real quick. You guys can stay on this, and I'll be back in a few.
I'm gonna keep it going because I still want to get on. To these NFL games today.
Yep. Keep it going, and I'll be back. All right. Yeah.
Who played tonight?
Got you, brother.
The Raiders and the Rams.
Not watching the Raiders pull that out.
Not watching that.
You think the Raiders is gonna beat the Rams, man?
I'm watching that.
Oh,
so they got Baker Mayfield as a whole QB.
I don't think he's gonna. You think he's gonna start this game?
They got
he has to.
Baker Mayfield, the Rams. The Rams. Yeah, the Rams signed and picked up his $1.5 million contract.
I mean, they had to. I mean,
yeah.
They gotta sell tickets. You gotta sell tickets.
I mean, I wouldn't buy a ticket because Baker Mayfield's playing. Now, if they sign OBJ again, I might want to come see that.
OBJ is definitely not going back to LA.
OBJ need to make a damn decision. He's getting me tight. I had to unfollow him on Instagram because I'm just sick of it, man. Like, I'm sick of it. At this point, how many times you going? What team is he going to go to? Bro, the season is damn near
it's over.
What are you doing?
I think somebody gonna pick him up.
He's playing the long game. He playing the smart. He looking at the division rankings. He like, who can I might possibly get another ring with?
And
he gonna wait to play the highest possible thing. But
even if he go to Dallas, he can't get number 3 because Anthony Brown got it, and he can't get 13 because Gallup. So who they gonna release? That's ugly.
No, he's getting 3. If he go to Dallas, he's definitely getting 3 because Brown's trash.
But Brown has been on their team all season. Would they go release him?
You know how much money he got, bro? Listen, give us that money.
You know how it worked to even switch your number in the NFL. Like you gotta pay for all the jerseys that's out there. You gotta pay that, and then on top of that, he also has to pay that man for his jersey. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Remember when Deshaun Jackson went to the Bucks and he wanted like 11 or something? He paid I forgot who had his number.
Blaine Gabbert.
Don't give me either money. Put it towards my charity type thing. So like they do things like that. So I mean, at the end of the day, OBJ, he's a good receiver, but his physical didn't go well. They said basically the way it looks right now, he would be better off playing in 2023 instead of this year.
I mean, it only makes sense, but I mean, if you want to be on a team just to wear a jersey,
You just want to be on a team with free reign.
At the end of the day, bro,
I'll be with it.
Like you said, and wait and come back next year and revert, man.
Right.
But yeah, so we got the Raiders tonight with the game and shit. We got the Raiders going hard and going tonight.
I hope so. I mean, I think that game is. They're playing the Rams, so I think. I mean, the Raiders at this point.
They're playing in LA, I think. I think they're playing in LA.
Yeah, it's not an intriguing game, but
too, so on top of that,
I'm pulling for Devontae Adams. That's my guy. So
he's not even in my top 5, to be honest.
What?
He's not.
Wait, hold up.
What?
Hold up. He's not in my top 5.
Give me your top 5 receivers now that you said that. I
feel like he has. He just has releases.
Went through this.
He has releases, bro.
He
has stats. Don't get me wrong. He has stats.
No. Fuck his stats. I watched that man's footwork and his route running. It is nasty. So tell me your top 5 so I can debate it in some type of way. Because somebody in your top 5 get knocked the fuck out. I already. Jefferson, I'll give you. Tyreek Hill, I'll give you. Diggs, I'm gonna give you those 3. I'm gonna let you rock. But who's number 4 and 5? Because what the fuck did you just say, Chris?
I'm talking about this year.
Who's your 4 and 5 though this year?
This year, I'll put. Who are wilding out? I'll put CD in there because he has his years. He has his game. It's for me, 5 is always a toss-up. It's always a toss-up. Always. Because I can put Keenan Allen in there. I can put
I wouldn't
Mike
put
Evans in there.
I wouldn't put I would put them in my top. I would never put them above Devontae Adams.
But you got
realize, Keenan Allen, if you want to go route running, they're like back. But I mean, Keenan Allen, like if you talking about route running, I will give him
his route running
Devontae, like because they both are really good technicians.
Keenan Allen got better route running than
Devontae, man, bro, the way he breaks down DBs. Did you see the game-winning touchdown that he did in the fake post corner? Like, I need you to go watch that. When they won that game, when he caught the game winner, you're a receiver. You would appreciate the way he set the DB up. Like, yo, he left the DB in the middle of the when the game is on the line. Why are you looking at the quarterback? That's my thing. Because, yo, he hit him with the look, corner game, and then wave by. Like, you know, I'm shit talking and route running. That gets me every time. Every time.
It's always, for me, I look at every receiver differently. I don't ever look at it as I could put him in a 5 because I always like pinpointed of what each person can really do. Like releases, Devontae got it. Release, I'm definitely giving him that.
But I feel like Devontae is tall, but he could play slot and outside. I like Diggs, but I would rather him outside than inside. I mean, he has the moves to do inside routes, but him on a slant from the outside is money every time. I don't want him to run out because I don't trust his depth a lot. Like his depth sometimes don't be making no sense. Like Josh Allen don't give a fuck about what route. He will literally call hike and just throw that bitch. I was watching a Bills game and I watched, at one point, he threw the ball and Diggs just caught it and didn't even realize that he was the main read on that play. And I'm like, damn, the awareness that he caught the ball was fucking impressive. But the shock, when he caught the ball, he was very shocked. You can see it by his body language.
Devontae Adams is definitely in my top 5.
Top 5.
It's
like I get CD, but I feel like CD is almost there.
If we go off stat receivers and then like the technicians, they're different. Yeah. So are you really gonna say?
I mean, he put up stats too.
Like I'll say this: like if you take technician, like if we're looking at, I look at Stephon Diggs. I watch Stephon Diggs a lot, so like I watch how he runs his routes and stuff like that. Like me personally, I've only seen so much of Devontae because I haven't watched him so much. I've seen certain games where he wilds out. Yeah. He's definitely a top 5 receiver. But for me, I just look at everything differently.
I mean, because if we going off stats, number 5 in receiving yards this season is Jaden Waddle. So I wouldn't go off stats because that nigga is not in my top 5.
No.
Nor in my top 10.
But
he's good.
I can't put
Tyreek in my top 5. I can't put Tyreek in
arguably.
He's number 2 in receiving yards. I mean, number 1 in receiving yards.
Tyreek
Hill.
One to have
bro, he got 1,300 yards receiving. Did we believe Tua? Did we believe Tua was gonna be this good?
No,
I thought he was gonna be good.
Hold on.
But people went crazy when Tyreek Hill said that he likes Tua over Patrick. But I'm watching Tua throw the ball, and I'm like, yo. He's telling the truth. Like, yo.
You know why, though? You know why it's like
crazy.
That, though? You know why it's like that, though, right? Because Tua don't got to scramble every goddamn
True that. You're right. You are correct. Because his feet be
Have you
set
ever
as
watched
a
a full game of when Tyreek Hill runs his routes, then all of a sudden he got to break it down and run across
you're right.
It's because Patrick Mahomes comes from that type of environment to where, remember that game him and Baker Mayfield threw for like 500, 600 yards each?
Yeah.
And he comes from that. He comes from that type of thing. Like, he's not comfortable in the pocket all the time. He got to roll out. Then he got to find people. Tyreek Hill could run that route. Yo, throw me the ball. I'm going. Tua is sitting in the pocket and still getting to where he needs.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a difference between running routes and a scramble drill kind of
type of QB. And I always say that it all depends on who you have back there. Like, my whole thing is, I always ask this question: is Tim Tebow winning the Heisman without those type of stars around him in college? No.
No. But if you think about the athletes he had on that team, that shit really scary.
You had
really
number
scary.
1 and number 2 fastest players in college at running back. Dempsey.
And then he had 2 tight ends who made the
You had Hernandez. You had Murphy. You had Riley Cooper. You had the twins in front of you. Then on top of that, your defense. Come on, son.
Yeah.
Wilding.
Yeah.
So like and on top of that, me personally, I don't think the Heisman should just go to a QB.
I mean, this year specifically, I think TCU and Georgia's quarterback they're not gonna win it. Like, it's between Caleb and then CJ Stroud. And if they're gonna and the only reason they would give it to Stroud is because of the record. But then again, he played a bad game in Michigan. Like, if he would have played a good game where he didn't throw those 2 picks, he might have had an opportunity to win.
I think CJ's
Caleb
gonna get that.
Gonna win it.
CJ's gonna get that because Caleb.
If he don't,
Caleb has 44 total touchdowns. I think they're gonna give it to him because of his magic with his legs. Like, CJ has 35 touchdowns, and literally 2 of them are rushing touchdowns. He does not run the ball. Like, he's a pocket passer who can move. The point is, you know what I'm saying?
He can run the.
He can. I think, but it's like the Patrick Mahomes. Like, Patrick Mahomes can run. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you looking at
he can extend plays.
Yeah, or Josh Allen, like, they know how to use their legs in situations. Like, Caleb Williams, he don't read. He sees pressure. He's off. You know what I'm saying? He's taking off. He's doing all the little doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? A little. CJ Stroud is running straight out of bounds, first down, so I can throw the ball next time. Like,
he's playing another down.
That's it. He's like, yo, live to fight another day. In the words of
that's what I call a game manager. Someone that wants to move the chains.
I will give you that. I think CJ is definitely a game manager with a strong arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, some game managers don't have the
Hold on, Mos, hold on 1 second. Let's talking about Moses' jersey as soon as he got on. That's the first dude you said. I'm looking at the comments right now. I read the comments, but
come on.
He said, Orange said, "Look at my guys' feelings, but why we ain't talking about?" That's the first thing we mentioned. Oh, catch up, man. You just joining the program.
Come on, man. We here. We know. You know. O-H. You know how it goes.
I would love for them to pull it out too. Like, I would love for Ohio.
I mean, honestly, I think the whole season it kind of set up like that. Like, they've been talking about Georgia and Ohio State. Like, what? I mean, let's be real. If you look at our D line, our DBs are not great. Like they're still green and young, but our D line is very experienced, and like we got
that's
a great
what the
D
game
line.
is won.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what the game is won.
Who's that linebacker? Was it number 44?
Tuamilo. Yeah, he's a beast. JT, he's a beast. I mean, listen, we got some guys. I just think it's going to come down when we play Georgia. It's going to come down to those two tight ends. How the fuck do we stop those two monsters? Like Bowers and that other 6'7" monster. I don't worry about their wide receivers. Like Stephen Bennett has not shown me enough passing to his wide receivers that I'm threatened by them. Like Michigan had some wrinkles in their plays, but Georgia does what they do. They do what they do because they're in the SEC. They don't need tricks. They got big ass motherfuckers. They coming at you. Period.
Bottom line.
We gotta understand. Do we get pushed back or do we fight forward? Like that's really what it comes down to. Is I think our linebackers match up with their running backs. I think our linebackers, Tommy Ackenberg and a couple of those other guys. I think we gonna be all right.
It's that front seven.
I don't think. Yo, we have the small Ronnie Hickman and Ransom. Are the smallest safeties in the country. Like they're both 5'7", 5'9". They're going against two massive tight ends. We ankle biting all day. All day.
So hold on, guys. So before we get on to our Coach Prime Effect, conversation real quick, who y'all got in the Natty? And who you got winning most? Who you got?
Ohio State, Michigan, and I'm going. We get our lick back, and we prove something. So I could call Coach Dave and tell him that was a nice little Big Ten championship, nigga. But we got the Natty, nigga.
I get it, but but what I'm gonna tell you is with that. God forbid them lose. So if Coach Day lose again,
come on, yo, listen. If they lose, it's even better. Cause I'm calling him regardless. Even if we lose and they lose, I'm calling him. Y'all made it for no reason.
Yo, Easton, what you got?
Yo, all right. So I'm gonna go with the Michigan TCU game first. I'm gonna go shootout.
Talk as a recruiter.
He's a recruiter now, man. Get to the point.
It is shootout, nail biter. I'll probably take Michigan. Okay. Ohio State versus Georgia.
We know who you're going for. We know. Georgia. We know. You got Georgia. Connections there. You need to get connections at the OH, but I ain't going to talk about it because you got guys going to Penn State, Michigan. What's up? Like, you ain't even in their ear to tell them, like, this is a good program. This is why you recruiters tell them to go to Colorado then.
Go ahead, yo, Chris, go ahead, give it. Yo, who you got winning? You got UGA winning the Natty, I think.
Hell yeah, he
do.
UGA
going back to back.
Hell yeah, he do. So now, I already knew that.
Since we brought up Colorado, let's get into this. Yesterday, we were about to get into that Coach Prime effect. And, man, it's every day is something new with Coach Prime. He said he's bringing that luxury in, and his luggage is Louis.
And it's Louis.
I think he's been doing some recruiting early. I think he's on to something, man, early.
Bro, listen, ever since he took that job, 1,200 players have entered the transfer portal.
That's crazy.
1,200, bro. It's 1,200. That's somebody graduating class, bro.
That's right.
Yo, I seen a report yesterday that Travis Hunter might not be going to Colorado.
No?
He's his top. I mean, they're in his top 5, but it might be he's leaning towards Florida State, which is kind of crazy. Crazy.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I always thought Dion would go at least to Florida State.
They didn't want him. Like, I think they didn't want him.
They said he didn't have the experience. So when he was about to go for the job, politics, I
think if Florida State would have had a bad year this year and they fired their coach, they would have went and got him. But hey, give it a few years. Say he changed that program at Colorado. The minute the Florida State job is the only other job that he wants because he had an opportunity to go to USF and be the head coach there. He turned that down because the only Florida job that he wants is Florida State. He don't want to go nowhere else. That is his alma mater. That is his dream job. And people thought that he was going to stay with Jackson State forever. Like, That's foolish. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta
Like,
elevate, bro. You gotta elevate your
what he
resume.
said? He said coaches get elevated or terminated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the graveyard for him, and he said, I mean, long run, man. They said another question was how many NFL players you think you're gonna create in these 4 or 5 years?
I think a lot. I mean, shit. He signed Winston Watkins Jr., who's Sammy Watkins' little cousin, who's been playing on the national team since he was in 9th grade. Kid is the number 2 ranked wide receiver in his class. He's a 5-star wide receiver. He's the first person. He's the first
person to flip.
First person, literally. And then you got guys like Trey Sanders from Bama tweeting, "Yo, Unc, you got room for me?"
Come on,
that's crazy. That's an influence. If you got guys like a 5-star, former 5-star running back who played at Bama for 4 years, 3 years, injuries would not. Still, that guys are interested in even going to Colorado. Like that's crazy.
Bro, we all from the South, and we ready to go play for this coach in the cold. I always say this: coaching is everything. It's everything because your team feeds off of you. Your team is always gonna feed off the energy that you give them. And at the end of the day, Prime been on the top. Prime was the top dude coming out when he was getting drafted. He came with the chains. He was doing it. Like he said, like I forgot who interviewed him in the draft process. And he was like, "What pick y'all got?" And he was like, "Oh, 6." He said, "I'm gonna be gone before y'all even get to y'all pick."
Yeah,
like
facts,
it's the type of confidence level you got to think about it.
But also his connection with these young kids. Like we forget, before he was at Jackson State, he coached the Under Armour game for 8 years in a row. So half of these guys that are in the NFL was coached by him at some point in high school. If you was one of those top dogs. And understand, he knew how to connect to them back then. So why would anybody? That's why when people are like, "Oh, he's not gonna do," everything that man touched turns into gold. Like let's be real. Like everything he's touched turned into gold. So to think, guess what? JSU gave him an opportunity that nobody else wanted to give that man. So to bound him to somebody that gave him his first opportunity. Like I said yesterday, there's coaches that shouldn't have no more opportunities that are coaching at universities like Texas. You know what I'm saying?
I look at it like this. We as a black community got mad at him for leaving a black establishment that he ended up elevating from years past, right?
Absolutely.
Jeff Saturday got a fucking NFL coaching job, and he's never coached
in the middle of the fucking season.
So what? That's the thing. That's what I dislike. Like, you give Jeff Saturday a job when Reggie Wayne's been on the coaching staff for the past 4 or 5 years.
And who's a Hall of Famer?
Come on,
Reggie Wayne or Jeff Saturday?
They're both, because you know why Jeff is the Hall of Famer, because he was Peyton's center and he was blocking for him.
He ain't there yet. He ain't there yet. He got.
So at the end of the day. Like Reggie he said when he went, like when Deion Sanders went on I Am Athlete, what he said, because Channing Crowder was like, "Oh, you can't get that." He said, "Who understand those kids like I do? They from the same area I'm from.
Come on now.
So at the end of the day, when I'm recruiting you, I'm walking into grandma's crib, auntie crib, whatever. They know how I'm coming. Simple. It ain't about the weather. It's about what you're gonna get when you come here with me. Simple. We're not about to sit here and play games. We're not about to sit here and you from Florida. We know what Florida brings. So at the end of the day, we got a 3.5, 4 year relationship to build to get to where you want to be. Like he said, don't focus on the NIL. Focus on the NFL.
And some of those people watching his introduction was mad at him telling guys go to the portal. But at the end of the day, if you listen to his whole speech, he's telling y'all, I'm not dealing with what y'all dealt with in the previous past. That's why y'all was losing. I'm not dealing with what your parents had to deal with. You're not gonna work hard. You're not gonna be in the books. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. Because there's coaches that are stressing out right now because their guys aren't passing, so they might not even be playing in the bowl game. You know what I mean? Coaches are calling teachers right now, so they finals are the reason why they even able to play in the. Me and Kristen played at this level. We done played college. We know guys who were great athletes who literally didn't give two fucks about school. So therefore, they were iffy on if they could even play, and certain coaches would do extra shit to see if they could. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know
it's just the way I think him as a coach, and we know him as a player. We've seen him become a coach, so it's totally different from the outside looking in. We know that we know prime time.
We know prime. Yeah, we watch.
We know prime. Yeah. So when we talk the coach, when we talk that, and this is what I dislike, that everybody kept talking about that clip, like Mo said. You got to listen to from start to finish. Like he came in bumping all eyes on me by Pop.
Yeah.
Like, you see the type of energy I'm bringing? You see, like, we're not about to sit here and be on some,
I think people forget who he is. Like, that is like, bro, Deion Sanders.
Like we watched
the pregame before the pre-show one day. We watched him telling his team that, Jackson State, that, man, you can see in these boys' eyes when he said, you know, I'm going to finish this year out, but I'm going somewhere else. Them boys was already talking about portal. Them boys was already thinking about, man, I'm out of here.
You have to understand, end of the day, it's like, put like this. I'm gonna compare these two. It's like Floyd Mayweather starting a boxing school, right? We've all watched Floyd be that guy, that flashy dude, listen, I'm gonna put on the show. Deion Sanders, I'm gonna put on the show, I'm gonna get ticket sales, I'm gonna get the crowd. You guys, all you gotta do is perform.
I mean, if you think about it, in the boxing world, every single star, Earl Spence, Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, they all have went through the Mayweather umbrella.
Al Heyman,
they all.
Al Heyman.
Al Heyman.
But I mean, not promotion wise, but boxing wise.
Boxing.
Floyd had these guys in his gym boxing each other. If you can impress me, you can impress anybody. Because if you come in my gym and prove your worth, Al Heyman is going to sign you regardless. Right. Because you are already putting it on Front Street that I can train with Floyd Mayweather. I can keep up with a lot of the guys that he's put. A lot of the guys fall when the pressure gets tough. You know what I'm saying? And pressure makes diamonds.
Adrian Browner.
Exactly.
Adrian Browner.
I mean, we're going to see what Gervonta Davis do without Al Heyman now, because he's on his own. So he's no longer a part of it.
He just left. He just wants to do his own thing.
Listen, is he supposed to be fighting Ryan Garcia?
He's fighting another dude first.
He's fighting some dude in January. Then I think like
then he's going to fight.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I mean, that's the matchup. That's the fight I want to watch right there.
Prime time is definitely about to tear this up.
My boy Spence versus Bud.
Yeah, Crawford. I like that.
All right. Well, don't fear off, man. Keep going. Stay with Prime, man.
But I think
Let's go back to Prime. But the Prime, pretty much Chris was about to get onto something, but before Chris get on it, pretty much what we got so far, I mean, I know you've been tuned in, but the Prime effect is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? From his from Jackson State, when we seen the interview, because we seen the interview before, them boys is already thinking, man, I'm trying to go to the portal. I'm trying to go to the CU. I'm trying to go somewhere else. I don't know if I really want to be here.
I think a lot of
Alabama losing. You got Alabama losing 15, 11.
They got
Texas A&M losing 10 or more. Clemson losing their quarterback in the
I look at it like this. I look at it as I'm gonna step from the Bamas, the Texas A&M. I'm gonna go to them HBCU guys. Prime just got $5 million a year, right, in his contract. 5 M's. You see the type of facilities Jackson State had? That Deion had to put into.
That was all Prime.
Yeah.
You look at what $1.5 million 4-year contract. That means $1.5 million in 4 years versus $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Let's talk about it.
Do you see the
There's
type,
motherfuckers who leave a 16-hour job for a $17.50.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, look at if you watch the video, right? If you watch the video of Deion walking through the facilities, he says to the I forgot what they call the guy that the facilities guy, or the facilities director. Deion told him, he said, this is normal for you, but this ain't normal for us. You walking into hot and cold tubs, underwater treadmills. My boys ain't never seen that.
What he said? He said at the high school they had 2 weight racks.
Yeah. So you walking into a facility of where it can fit the whole football team in the weight room. You getting the best meal plans. You getting the best weight training. You getting classes. You got the facility. You got the field.
You have a lunchroom for your players, not like the common lunchroom.
Come on now.
You have a lunchroom and a sleep room for your players. Versus
like we have
telling
a players
them go back
lounge.
to their room and go sleep.
We got a bigger locker room. We got Nike. We getting anything we want. All y'all got to do is come in and put in the work. And that's what he's telling them. Like, yo, I'm not telling y'all just to go in the portal. I'm telling y'all go in the portal. If you're not coming to be smart, if you're not coming to put in that work, if you're not coming in to better your position, to better your friends, to better your
deserve all this stuff.
You don't deserve any of it.
Like, how does it sound that I put more into you than you put into yourself? Like, I'm supposed to represent you and you not even for yourself? Like, you don't want better for yourself. Because guess what? When football's over, that degree is on you. Your grades is on you. Like, you live with that. Because prime could be prime. But guess what? When those NFL coaches come asking, and you in the transfer portal, and those other coaches come asking prime, how was he? He got to be honest. He got to be honest with them. And guess what? So, some of those white coaches ain't going to take a black kid that ain't even serious about himself. Listen to what he said. 1,200 kids in the transfer portals. A lot of those kids is going to either end up back at the school or they're going to be in HBCUs to see what that feels like. And they're going to know the difference.
So, to touch on that, like, remember when USC was going through the years of them balling out, Reggie and all them, and at practices is Diddy, is Snoop, is actors and actresses and stuff like that, right?
I remember that.
So did you see what happened at JSU homecoming? But you had Rick Ross, you had Snoop, you had
Gilly the Kid.
You don't think all them they about to do that at Colorado, bro?
Yeah.
Prime time. You know how many NFL scouts is about to be at practices, games, meetings. We don't want to come to JSU. Now Colorado, they're in the Pac-12. They're a Power 5 school,
and USC and UCLA is leaving the Pac-12.
So you got to think about they're about to have a pro day. They're about to have a legit pro day.
Hold on one second, guys. Yo, listen, we're gonna close out the Facebook, but we're gonna slide over to the YouTube. So we're gonna keep it private. This extra footage is gonna be on YouTube. So stay tuned. Stay on there right now. We're gonna close out Facebook. Up for debate, man. On Facebook, we our time. Facebook. If you want more footage, you gotta come over to the YouTube. We're gonna continue this conversation over there. Do you what we got?
Yep. So we just put out on the Facebook. We're going over to YouTube. I wanted you guys to continue the conversation that you guys had. It was intriguing to me.
We'll continue, but we want to slide over to the book. I mean to the YouTube channel. Keep the streams going over there. We don't get Facebook.
845 Inc. Network. If you type that in on YouTube, it'll come right up. So yeah, continue on, fellas.
It's just big. Like, I think him. Remember, I look at it like this: when Travis Hunter committed to JSU, who was mad? A lot of white coaches. A lot of white coaches. Yeah. So now, what Prime did, I'm in the Power 5 school. Now what we doing? It's the same level field. What can you say now? What can you say now? You can't say nothing. You can't say he came to an HBCU. He came to a school in the Pac-12, a team, a conference that's looked at to go to the college football playoff. We're on the same level now. So don't give me no excuses. Y'all got mad because he went to HBCU, but prior then.
It wasn't even that he went there. Like, they gave him an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? If he got a choice of where he wanted, because Florida State needed a coach the same time that JSU did. And if Florida State put the same amount of effort or trust in that JSU did in that man, understanding his connection and understanding his effect, the prime effect, Travis Hunter would have stayed a commit of Florida State. Kevin Coleman would have stayed a commit for Florida State. A lot of those guys from Florida would stay in state. You got guys from Florida going to Ohio State. Brandon Ennis, the #1 wide receiver, going to Ohio State. He's from Florida. You think he wouldn't want to stay in Florida so his family could see him play? No, he's going up north and coming to play for a university that believes in him more than the people in his own backyard.
Shout out to Hartline, the wide receiver coach at Ohio State.
I'm so happy he didn't leave us.
He's
so happy he didn't leave. He's gone next year, but he almost took the Cincinnati job. I would have cried. I promise you, I'd have been on this network crying, all right? Because he would have took everybody. He would have took every. You heard the prime effect, heartline effect next year. He's taking everybody.
I really wanted him to go to Florida State, man. That's my favorite spot since '93, man.
I would have loved to see that. What? You understand walking on a university and seeing that number 2 jersey? Yes, he was 21, but he was number 2 at Florida. Like, let's be real. Like, that just the accolades that he did, the man was a national champion. He's done a lot of things at that university. And the fact that they wouldn't even give him an opportunity to literally even be on the staff, I would hire him as my recruiting something because
you got to think about it. Look at the atmosphere Florida State plays in. Because you got to think about it. That Florida versus Florida State,
it's crazy.
That rival,
crazy.
That what when they come on that 8:00 prime time, that 8:00 game,
whether it's in Florida State or it's at
come on, you know that chant. Now imagine Deion in the tunnel. Getting busy,
doing the dancing.
With the music.
You got the horse running. You got the spear.
With the chains on.
Oh my God!
Florida State messed up.
They messed up, man. He would have brought back that. He would have brought back that.
I think he would have loved to see his son wear number 2 at Florida State
in that type of uniform.
Right.
It would have been good. But
what y'all think about his oldest son being upset with him that he's leaving JSU? Y'all think about that?
I didn't know about that.
So that's why he didn't bring him on the trip.
He didn't want him to leave. So at the end of it,
literally.
And then Shiloh went on his Instagram and asked people if he should stay for JSU or leave. And I voted leave. I don't care. He should leave. He should go with his pops. I don't care what he thinks. Yeah. But I mean, listen, you also can't introduce a culture like JSU to some of these kids and understand like it don't have an effect. You know what I'm saying? Like HBUs do have an effect. Understand that. For sororities and fraternities mean way more in these HBCUs because that's a brotherhood outside of school. You got to understand a lot of these HBCU players are there for 4 years. So a lot of them is getting jobs outside of football with these fraternities and sororities that give them these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of these guys go to these big colleges and don't even think about that because they just want to go to the NFL.
They said, like, when Prime was talking, they was like, yo, how did you get Travis Hunter? When he committed, everybody was like, oh, NIL. And Travis said, I ain't getting no money. My mom still work here and still, all right. Deion Sanders said everybody messed up by letting him come visit the school. Come visit, watch the game. He said, I got him to come visit on homecoming day. You look up in the stands, there's 60,000 black people. You got music bumping. You're not going to be like...
Some of these coaches don't even want you to listen to the music that you grew up on.
Like...
That's a fact.
Bro,
Sweet Home Alabama? Sweet Home Alabama? I don't give a about Sweet Home Alabama. I don't want to hear that before a game.
Bro, it is 60,000.
Ain't no play in GA.
They ain't going crazy. Like, they love us. Like everybody here for us. It's not the main attraction. It's us. 60,000 of my people in the stands turning up. Lit every fucking play of the game.
Listen, when Deion tell them, hit my theme music.
Come on. No. I'm not having that type of environment a regular coach. You're not having that type of
I think that's also another reason why JSU is mad because you can't replace him with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what they did with their basketball team. They went and hired Mo Williams because of his NBA experience, you know what I'm saying? So I think if a lot of these former athletes get into the business of actually wanting to be coaches, that's an opportunity to get somebody else. But if you're going to replace him with somebody else that don't have the same. I mean, you can't really match Deion's energy, but if you don't get somebody from the NFL or somebody that has a connection with,
I say
a perfect.
Who did you say? Who you say?
Herm Edwards.
I said. I heard a good person that they said was Ray Lewis.
Yeah, boom. What?
Perfect.
Ray Lewis. All right, now mind you, watch this. If Ray don't get the job, right? I say go after Reggie Wayne.
I mean, but would he?
I feel
like Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards
right?
is that bridge coach. He
could be. He is. That's a fact, bro. He's that bridge coach.
Imagine this. Just imagine this. Herm Edwards, the coach, right? Your defensive coordinator, Ray Lewis.
Your offensive coordinator. Your offensive coordinator. Hey, it's you. Do you hear us? We out here telling you what you should be doing.
Don't listen to us. Don't listen to us. We not regular.
Listen. I'm just saying, Kingdom Way Training also could be on the staff, and you will get recruits. Top tight ends, top wide receivers. We know them. We know them.
You know the crazy part about all this, most? I talked to him about Ohio State and Michigan. I said, who would you go to? He wanted to go to Michigan because of the tradition, the coach that was there a long time and stuff like that.
Yo, that's
now,
crazy.
Mind you, he walked in.
Wait, first off, if we're gonna talk about history, Jim Tressel, champion. Urban Meyer, champion. Let's talk about relevance. Like when we had these black jerseys, champions. Like don't go back into the time when tell them Michigan didn't even respect Tom Brady. They was benching him. Tell them that. They history ain't great.
Everybody was so. All my boys was like, "Yo, why he ain't commit to Ohio State, bro?" Like,
great for
I'm happy your boy went to Penn State. Like, I'm like, I don't. They ain't got a great history either. They like to touch little boys. I ain't
no. Stupid. I'm done.
Yo, YouTube. Hold on. YouTube. Everything's up for debate on this. It's just a public opinion.
Listen, YouTube, it's a public case, the Sandusky case. Don't tell me shit. That's public information. These kids need to know what university.
Hey, yo, they're not rocking like that no more.
Ohio State, we only got sanctions because our players sold their jerseys, which they getting paid for now. So we already was ahead of the movement. We ain't out here doing nothing crazy.
Nah.
Terrell Pryor was getting tattoos for autographs.
Yo, that's crazy.
Come on now.
SMU was ahead of the movement. But as we talk about the training aspect, I think it's
right back.
It's fun for me to see these kids do everything that I'm teaching them.
Absolutely.
And actually put it into the game. Like it's just fun sitting back watching these kids. Like, I'm doing what I know I'm set out to do something great in life. I'm not sure what it is. Training is just one of the smallest aspects of my life right now.
Absolutely.
But it's to see these kids commit, to see these kids get the offers, the looks, the texts I'm getting. Like my boys, like, yo, I'm about to go to Temple on a visit. Like when Andrew committed to Michigan, I got that text on my birthday weekend last year. Like he hit my phone and he was like, I think I'm about to commit. And I already knew he was going to go to Michigan because the way he was just feeling, I'm like, yeah, he's going to Michigan.
But then he switched.
So, which he's closer to home and stuff like that. And they're going to use him in that type of offense that Penn State
Absolutely.
has. Now,
absolutely.
This is the thing that everybody gets misconstrued. Andrew has all those offers, right? Andrew is 6'5", 6'6", 230 something pounds, right? But when I first got him, he wasn't moving like he moved now. Like that's what a lot of people. That's why I always say it's a process to get to where you got to be. Y'all see Andrew, y'all see him, y'all see Charlie, and they wasn't moving like that. Now they put in the work over the years to get to where they want to be. Like I say, everybody looks at Andrew. Everybody need to look at Charlie.
I remember a conversation you had with Andrew where he was concerned early in the game when he was concerned about his offers, and you told him the minute you get an offer from one college, everybody else in that conference will give you an offer. Everybody, because they're gonna see what everybody else is doing. And you know what? when the offers started trickling down, and it was Michigan, then it was Penn State, then it was Ohio State, then it was Rutgers, then it was the Big Ten list started getting bigger. Then you got ACC, then you know what I'm saying, and it's like some of these kids don't see the future goal of what
they don't see it. Like I say, listen, keep putting in the work and it's going to be noticed over time, right? So one time he was walking into training and whatnot. I'm setting up stuff. He's on the phone. I don't know who he's on the phone with. Me being the coach is like, yo, who's that? Feel me? Like we got to get ready to work. Puts it on speaker. University of Tennessee. So, and I'm like, you still stressed? You still stressed about what again?
Come on, man.
Like, come on.
It's gonna come.
Your gut. I was like, listen, everybody notices you. Everybody. I said, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to choose a school. Anybody can offer you. Anybody can offer you.
What high school did he play at?
He went to Lourdes, then he transferred to a private school, Milton Academy in Mass. Charlie went to.
I think personally, what I'm so invested in with Chris is like, yeah, some of these private school kids is doing well, but like, you know, I'm newly to Newburgh, and I'm watching some of these athletes that train with him. Yeah. And like, this is not a heavily recruited area, but the fact that a lot of these kids believe in his method and his mindset to help them get to the next level. These kids are impacted just as much as the private school kids, because private school kids got a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a little more.
So
you know,
Chris, I'm gonna ask you. All right, I got a 13-year-old. He played football this year. He played receiver. He's looking to move over to quarterback, actually, but he's looking to. He was actually thinking about switching over and going to Lord, and leaving Kingston. Like what would you say?
Why do we want to transfer? That's my question.
Okay, that's a question.
Is it a football reason or is it a school reason? There's two different questions.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't really tell the world, you know what I'm saying. But Henry got a letter from IMG, you know what I'm saying, and
he has.
And they looking like at him. He's 13. The kid's 6 foot. Still got time to grow.
They see potential of what he can be.
Absolutely.
So it's never on the scale of now. So everybody always, when they see the kid, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, bro, that's just now. They see they're practicing for the next, when he gets to that 15, 16, 17 age.
Yep.
So that right there, I always say every opportunity that comes your way, listen to it and dissect whatever you got to dissect when it comes to that opportunity, because you don't know what you could miss. At the end of the day, I always say, one of these kids right now, he want to go D1 so bad, like, and it's because he really wasn't getting it, because I was telling him, and he was just taking it like, all right, coach is just saying it. So I ended up calling my man, who was actually with the Giants when Saquon got hurt. He was the starting running back. I called him. I'm like, yo, listen, I got a 13-year-old right now. He's not really taking the shit. I need you to talk to him. I put him on speaker. Boom. I want to say 5 minutes went by. And I left. I was like, yo, I'm going to holler at you later, bro. Da-da-da. Appreciate you talking to the kids for me. Boom. At 6 a.m, the next morning, the kid texted me on some, yo, coach, when can we train again? Now, ever since our phone call, I want to be locked in. The phone call shouldn't have made you locked in. You should have been locked in from jump. I said, but at the same time, I'm glad it happened. But I hate the fact that I had to do this to get you really on track. Yeah. Like I hate that.
Some of these kids ain't locked in. They not even. They don't want what you see in them. They want.
Yeah, it's like I can't want it more than you, because y'all have a bigger recruiting field than I ever did.
Ever.
I'm like
ever. Y'all gonna get paid when y'all get there.
Right.
I said, listen,
like,
y'all got
way more opportunities and money included in this, not just education. So it's like
it's bigger than what you're looking at. And now he wants to train all the time. And I told him, I said, you good? He said, yeah, I'm nice. I said, you sure? So I have to prove this point to him to humble himself sometimes, because I said, there's a 13-year-old right now in Utah has a full ride scholarship to University of Southern California. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to make you feel anything.
I mean, let's be real.
What's going on? He's the same age. He plays the same sport. What makes him different is the fact that he separates himself from the pack at all times. You walking in the same uniform, same helmet, same cleats. Get on the field and dominate. Separate yourself in the pack. That's all I care for. So when you go to camps, it's not about, oh, this kid is here, da-da-da. Like, I went against the number one recruit in the nation. I didn't even know he was the number one recruit. After my rep, like, I did what I had to do. I won the rep. And the dude was like, yo, bro, you know you just beat the number one kid in the country? Oh, okay. I mean, I just thought he was another dude at the camp. That's me.
That's how it should be. Because everybody's another man. And think about it. DJ Ogunwalale, like, you know what I'm saying? It was the number one quarterback, right? Over Bryce Young. And look at where
number one quarterback.
Where he going? He's trying to leave
the portal. And they're misconstrued by, and I say this is the worst thing ever created, social media. Social media has made these kids seek validation and go into a depressed state, because when something goes wrong, he plays at Clemson. He plays at a team that won a national title. They got a recruiting class. So when you see you messed up, you got benched, you have to keep that spirit up of, I got to root on my teammate. Meanwhile, in his brain, he's like, damn, I just messed up. Like, I was a starting quarterback. Like, I came out to Trevor Lawrence. His entire resume is like, boom, 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 boom. You started when Trevor Lawrence didn't play, but you played against Notre Dame and you played well. You did your thing. So now to play bad in an ACC championship game to get your school another championship, it gets in his brain. It's like, now I got to go do something elsewhere. When you seeing all these people online of, you suck and you should have did this and you wasn't locked in, you worried about this and worried about that, it gets inside their head. And that's what I always say, social media can be good. It also could be the worst thing ever. So you got to understand what type of recruitment world you live in now. Because once you get an offer from a certain school, that fan base is going to be on you.
Absolutely.
When you post another, let's say like this. Let's just say the kid I'm training right now, he gets an offer from Michigan, right? Boom. Michigan fans follow him. Boom. He posts, bless the receiver offer from Ohio State. I guarantee you, just because he got
all
an offer from Ohio State,
is gonna be in
all
his
negative
comments.
energy. It's never going to be congratulations. Oh, they suck. You shouldn't go there. Why would I go somewhere that's talking down on another fan base? I get it's a rivalry, but at the same time, I'm a human being. Like, I always say this. Though the craziest part about sports to me is when they took away the Texas versus Texas A&M rivalry, because Texas A&M went to the SEC, right? That rivalry ain't been done in almost 10 years, right? It's like Poughkeepsie and Newburgh. We a rivalry. We don't even play each other no more.
We are rivals, man. Don't get it twisted now.
When do we play Newburgh?
No, I'm talking about Kingston, man. That maroon and gold, man. Don't try to front. Go ahead.
Who y'all rival?
Newburgh.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Newburgh has been having y'all number for the last few years.
Like,
since I played was we really good, but we got that basketball, y'all
got some hoopers.
I say like training is a bigger ass. I'm not there for just training. I'm there to mentor you, to talk to you about the sports, talk to you about life, because I've been there. I've been there to the whole. I see kids think so much when they're in a group. They see a kid moving better than them. Now it's like, all right, I got to do this. No, focus on you and do what you got to do so you can get better. Because at the end of the day, everybody plays elsewhere. I'm like, you see.
Also with your son changing positions, you gotta see what type of mentality you got. Because understand, only one quarterback could start. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this world, and there's a lot of kids at that age already that got D1 offers. So if you're willing to put in the work and understand that you're already behind the ball, because some of these kids been quarterbacks since Pee-wee. You know what I'm saying? D1, D2, D3 quarterbacks. Yeah. You already behind the ball. So if you're willing to put in the work to catch up and understand that you are catching up, because it's not that you're going to be put in there and you're going to be great. I mean, granted, there are some athletes who are put at quarterback and they excel because of their athleticism. But also, do they have the mindset to actually take it to the next level? Because once again, a lot of us black athletes are already behind the ball in fundamentals and technician, because you got these kids now, they watch Tyreek Hill, And it's different. When we was young, yo, I'm Dion, I'm T.O., I'm Chad Johnson, and now I'm Tyreek Hill because I'm fast.
Yeah.
Do you understand how hard that man worked? Do you understand what it is? You know what I'm saying? Like the generations is a lot different than what the work ethic is.
I say this. I ended up going to a camp in Ohio, and one of the receiver coaches, he used to be Chad Johnson's coach. He watched me run my routes and everything. He's like, come here. He said, I'm looking at you as one of the best on this field right now. He said, I need you to control your speed. And he told me, he said, just because you fast don't mean you good.
Facts.
Like when John Ross got drafted, John Ross is one of the fastest to ever do it. What has he done in the NFL? Nothing.
Man, that's crazy.
It's all about that's a good mentality. Point. Like I got a whole, like my boy's son is a whole quarterback, right? And on a 7-on-7 team, he'd be like, yo, coach, I want to play safety. His dad go, when the last time have you played safety? You haven't played safety all year. Yeah. He said your body's not going to transform instantly like that. Like you are a quarterback. You look at the field, you throw the ball. You don't defend. He said, stay in your lane. At the end of the day, your son, if he wants to make that transition, understand it's a lot of work. It's not just X's and O's. It's not just throwing the ball. Bro, you got to understand. When y'all lose a game, that shit fall on the QB.
Everything. That's why I tell him, like, a quarterback has to be 25 out of 25 plays mentally there. Yeah. Everybody else don't have to be locked in all 20. Because guess what? A corner, they might try you 2 or 3 times out of 25 plays. A wide receiver, they might throw it to you 3 or 4 times out of 25 plays. A quarterback has to be mentally there 25 out of 25. That's whether you mess up, whether you succeed, you got to stay even kill. It's a very emotional position. You know what I'm
saying? I would say that he takes basketball a little bit more seriously than football.
I mean, if he's transferring to play basketball at Lords, that's probably a smart choice because Lords basketball, I know a lot of people who actually get really good offers out of Lords, especially basketball wise. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my sister went there, you know, she went to Georgetown, you know what I'm saying? And Lords is the reason for that. So
but going back to the whole school thing, the crazy thing is Andrew had more offers coming out of Lords than he did going to that private school. That private school in Mass. It's both private school, but it's still Lords. Like you still in heart of Poughkeepsie. Feel me? It's still there. They're on the other side, but at the same time, it's still Poughkeepsie, New York. You feel me? Yeah. So him going to that private school because they have a better situation, a better recruiting, a better coaching staff, a better area. That's what it comes down to. It's all about the area you come from, regardless of what happens. And it's all about, can you put yourself on the map? Because as a QB right now, he's 13, right?
Yep.
So he's a receiver, right?
Yep.
He's going to be tall, yes or no?
No, he's tall. I'm 5'11", 6 foot, and he's the same height as me.
All right, so he's gonna be tall. All right, I'm gonna say this right now. I don't ever take nothing from a kid, but as far as mechanics and stuff like that, it's hard to transition from a receiver to a QB because you got to realize QB is the most critiqued recruit position.
Yes.
In the country.
You'll understand because colleges will send you by position what they look at,
what they want to see.
Literally. Like receivers, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Your twitch, your catch, quarterback shit is 2-3 pages long. You know what I'm saying?
You could tweak some stuff in a receiver, like, all right, boom, you can start to run it like this, you can go up the field, you can run, use your speed, you can jump. QB, can you stand in the pocket with homeboy full speed coming at you and still dot that ball? Can you still do that?
Yeah,
fundamentals, footwork,
can you read a defense?
Arm accuracy. How does he throw? How does he throw when he's on the run to his right? How does he throw on the run to his left? Does he know protections? Can he read coverages? Can he dissect which receivers? Is he a quick reader? Does he get from his 1 to 5 reads in a matter of seconds? I'm looking for a guy who reads within 3 seconds. Some of these kids are not.
Yeah, the way, I feel like this year he was feeling like, man, all I was is a glorified blocker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to be fair, some of these coaches with younger kids are not putting them in position to be successful because they put all of that on the high school. They like, yo, they get to high school, they out of my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like next year, I'll be coaching D3. And my whole point is to put kids in the right position that I believe they will futurely play.
I'll tell you this right now. I train a kid, right? He's from this area. I'm not going to say what school it is. I'm going to just give you the actual stuff that his coach making him do. He's a tight end, right? He's 16. He's 6'6", 240. Ooh. Right? I don't think he's gotten a touchdown this year. All he uses that man to block. I'm like, bro. I'm like, yo, put him at receiver because you're not getting those 6'1" corner right now, bro. Throw it up,
right?
Throw it up to him. Throw it.
Yo, Chris, listen. I'm gonna say this.
It's so hard looking at it.
Yo, they finally gave him the goddamn ball, 55-yard touchdown. So that's what I'm saying.
And the sad part is when that happened, somebody reacts like you should have been doing that all season. That's the worst part because it's like, yo, if you coach, it's a whole argument between trainers and coaches, right? Trainers and coaches always go at it. I just happen to be both. I just happen to be a coach and a trainer. So I understand both aspects, right? So me and Moses was actually coaching a flag team in the summer, right? Yeah. Sometimes I couldn't be there.
We the champs.
Feel me?
Too,
yes.
By
so
the way,
champs, yeah.
Okay, I won my Kingston League too.
Nah, like it's fun because at the end of the day, coaching is so fun because you see your team grow. And that team right there, you see kids go from. I say this: football is one of the most selfish games ever played, ever. Because you really gotta wait for the person in front of you to mess up or get injured, and it's selfish because
it's so bad. Because you don't wish that, but you also want your opportunity. So
right? when we playing, right? So when you're playing football, it's like, dang, you should have been doing that all year. Yeah. And it's like, when you look at a coach, it's like, do you understand that? I say this: some coaches are stuck in their ways, and it's terrible. Because they don't want to adjust to the time. Like I remember, I want to say 2 years ago when coach at Lord's retired or he left or whatever. The person that was coming in, you just left the team at a spread offense. The new coach came in and started running wing T. When the last time we seen wing T? Army versus Navy.
I think that helps develop running linemen. But other than that, yeah.
But if you're a receiver, I'm never jumping to a wing T offense.
Right.
Why would I? But why would my because some of these kids are stuck. They don't have the opportunity to transfer. They don't have the opportunity to get out of these situations. Yeah. So you got a kid 4 years wasting we got to understand that some of these kids you only get 2-3 years, and if you're lucky, 4 years of even playing on varsity. So to then work your ass off to then only have 2 years of straight blocking film. How is that fair to them? Also I get it because from a coach's perspective, it's hard to literally coach against wing T because the opportunity to win is more larger because you have a upper hand on the formations you are accustomed to running. But understand that if you're thinking about these kids, which coaches should, because that's what you're there to do, coach kids, then why not develop yourself as a coach to understand that you need to broaden your horizons? Because if you just want to be a high school coach for the rest of your life, then you got to understand that you are diminishing a lot of these kids' opportunity to get anywhere. And I also think it's bad that some of these coaches don't even have the connections with these colleges to get these kids recruited. Like, what other college is gonna call you because you run a wing T and they want one of your guys? It's not likely. So you're not even trying to broaden your expansion of who you know and what it is, and you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these guys, like Chris said, stuck in their ways, man.
So you talking some ish today, boy. Yeah.
So basically, like to go off of most, when he talking about college coaches, so. Being a trainer doing these drills, a lot of coaches haven't seen any of that done because they don't do it in practice or they just focus on the Let's get to what we need to get to in practice. And I've always heard that. And let's get to what we need to get to. Let's get to the next rep. So the Penn State tight end coach, he DM'd me on Twitter, and he's seen the drill I was doing with Andrew. He said, I've never seen that done. And I said, how? It's simple. I'm not going to explain it. You've seen what I've done. And I'm like, I'm helping him break down. I'm like, you guys understand the aspect of getting to a space. I'm teaching him to get open. I said, this little simple breakdown drill is going to get him open. I said, I don't care that he's not fast enough or whatever. I don't care about that. I said, as long as he can get open, he can get the ball. Yeah. I said, you have to understand it's a process. You guys don't see that because you're like, all right, we need to get this, we need to get that, no. Understand there's a little bit amount of space that you can work with, and you can make this that big. It's a small thing, but it makes a big impact. Because when it comes to coaching, and I was coaching the fall flag league, I was just watching my players. I'm starting to develop. I'm like, all right, he can do this, he can do this, he can do this, he can do that, right? One of the best players on my team was a girl. And I'm like, I'm watching her. I got her at the center position. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm like, you know what? Put her at running back. I said, yo, get the ball and just run.
She was out.
And just run. And getting busy. Feel me? Like, so when Mo said you have to enhance your coaching, that's what it is. That's how you learn your players. It's like, it's sitting back and watching, like, who can do what. And, all right, this person can do this. Like, I had a fast kid. He was always wanting to juke. I said, get the ball and run straight. Don't stop. Unless you hear a whistle, don't stop. And he was like, Coach, thank you. I'm like, you got to trust yourself. I trust you.
I had to learn that. I was a fast kid who liked to trust
yourself. You start
running vertical.
Because if your teammates can't trust you, I can't trust you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about what are you willing to do to put you and your team on a certain level. And it's sometimes coaches don't want to listen. Coaches don't want to pop in. Coaches don't want to do a lot of things to develop their players and enhance their skill level. Like I say, I'm a skills trainer. I'm not a coach when it comes to training. I'm a skills trainer. I'm teaching you skills that's going to help. That's all it is. And one of the coaches out here, he tried to get me into the program to help the kids, to help the receivers, the tight ends, the DBs. And the head coach was like, no. But I'm like, the person you wasn't using last year came back to your team a better player. Why? After 2 months with me, right? But we're not going to talk about it.
That's
so crazy. I said, it's okay. It's okay. I said, because at the end of the day, he always says, coaches at practice don't even teach me what you teach me.
Damn.
And it's like, if you decide to grow as a person, we have to get out of our own way. And I always say, and I always been told that as a kid and as a grown up, like, listen, sometimes you got to look at yourself in the mirror and understand and own your shit. And some of these coaches don't do that.
But I think also as a coach, my thing is like, we need people like you, and we also need coaches in terms of what you teach them outside of what they learn in practice should help them in practice, because they should be better players in running things that are more simpler than what they're running in training. So I think, yes, bringing you on would help these kids be better, but I would love for them to train outside of what we do in practice, get right fundamentally, get your body more conditioned to do things that you're not asked to do. So when you're in the game athletically, your mind and your body is going to do what it does in general. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're teaching them create space. So now if you go to a school and instead of square routes, they have you do speed outs. Regardless of how you do it, your body is going to naturally be what it is. But guess what else you got? You got more stronger push off. You know what I'm saying? Like say that 6'6", 240 kid, for me, I'm going to put him at tackle. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if he could put pounds on, he could be the best Trent Williams I ever had. I need a kid that can be athletic. Understand, tackles being athletic and understanding the defenders that are coming up in this world. Like these,
my boy, dog too. He's a
imagine going against Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. These are strong 6'6" motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, listen, like the crazy thing.
I don't need no 6'3" tackle. I want a 6'6" tackle. I need you to look at them in their eyes and do the same shit.
The fact that you bringing up Joey Bosa is like, I trained with him in Florida one year. Bro,
different.
I swear, I kid you no lie.
Different.
I kid you no lie, bro. We on the treadmill type shit, but it's like it's the treadmill that you run and make it faster, right? Me and him is running next to each other. I'm moving. Joey go next.
Yeah.
I say,
different.
I said, how big are you? He goes, like 6'7" type shit. Bro, mind
Scary.
you, he's moving at 21 miles an hour right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's scary. And it's so
scary.
And I always watch different coaches and different philosophies from different coaches, and they always say, "Yo, this game is becoming way more athletic than it's ever been." Like it shouldn't. Like Trent Williams shouldn't be able to pull that fast and get upfield. Like
different.
Your center shouldn't pull and get to the outside of the tight end to the outside backer that fast. It's so athletic to where these kids. I always push. Play different sports, because basketball can be used in football.
I always say that if you're a basketball player, don't play football because football does not help you in basketball. It will hurt you. But if you play football, playing basketball will help you because of the athletic things that you do in basketball will translate perfect to football. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to be a basketball player, quit football right now. Because guess what? The strength, the abuse, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
If you're not 6'5", if you're not a 6'5" point guard, I don't want to hear it.
Listen, you out here trying to create my players and shit. I'm talking about the regular kid in my backyard who's 5'9" right now. And they know how to dribble. Listen, don't go play because we just had a kid that practiced with my stepson, and he in 7th grade. He playing with the young guys. I'm like, yo, you play football? He's like, my mom took me out. I was like, what happened? He said, I broke my arm. I said, yep, stick to basketball, my brother, because he playing football. The rest of the limbs is gone.
My four fellas for the longest appearance and all that had some things to take care of. But,
you good.
We just was talking about coaching. We just talking about training. You know, a
lot of coaches don't take accountability for the losses that they had. And also,
created. Stop running wing T, fucking idiot.
Here we go.
I hate that.
We probably gonna bring it back Sunday morning. Talk about some NFL guys. I want to bring you back Sunday morning, guys. Talk about some NFL if y'all free Sunday morning.
Yes, sir.
Definitely want to bring you back on Sunday morning, get that NFL look. You dig what I'm saying? Well, we're going to slide up out of the YouTube channel and shit right now.
Hold on, what time Sunday morning? I got an idea.
We try to do like 10 o'clock or 10, 11, like, because we want to do it right before the games come out.
Before the game start and stuff.
I might be training some kids at that time. So if I patch in, y'all can see a little bit of action.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
nice.
That'll actually be the good thing to do, bro. Is patching at least for like a little 5 minute.
Yeah, Chris, we're gonna talk because I might have to, come see you.
Yeah,
Sunday.
I got some kids coming out there too. I'm trying to get some kids coming out there Sunday.
Y'all got my number.
Got you. So do ya? Take us out, do ya?
Appreciate you, fellas, man.
Definitely. Thank you guys for coming on, man.
Always, man.
Tomorrow we're gonna get into the Brittany Griner thing. I said a little bit about it, but we're gonna get into it totally tomorrow. Like I said, Chris, I got some kids that definitely I want to send your way, man. We're gonna talk behind the scenes on all that, and thank you guys for coming through and get these credits rolling and busy.
Thanks, Most Def. Thanks, Ethan.
Get my number from Busy. Contact me, Facebook message, no matter what it is. Contact me.
Got you.
Busy. I'm waking up early in the morning, get my hustle on. If you go to war with me, I hope your money long. Told them I ain't here for the games or you sing along. If there's money out here and I can't eat, then we can get along. Let's get into it. Get along. Yeah, I'm hot, boy. I'm really hot, boy. Talking need to get you with, cause that's something you not, boy. Killers moving silence. Move militant because niggas